Hey, so I peeled out of the tent and will keep these phone or this video on my phone tonight or whatnot. Keep it sealed so it can't send a signal out, and then upload it tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, if it's first Earth, which it very well might be, I could have been given incorrect information. Then we've regressed tremendously since the Kennedy men. And the same plot to enslave means nanotechnology into your mind and body to be able to torture and control you. Voice to skull remote neural monitoring, much like my last 14 years. A lot of pain. And then you're a slave. Like everything you even think is used against you, like at least tenfold. And things like interests of loving kindness or Christian disposition or free will or other things that they can render out of you. You can definitely lose loving kindness. They'll sell your body to be EMF gang stalker raped, and that's basically what happened to me out of 2013. There's so much of the perp end I don't know, and it's really important to know that stuff. So yeah, I'll upload this tomorrow and see if it gets modified through the night. But anything that is showing up in EMF gangstalker form or gangstalker form in Redmond is a national security threat. It's actually no small operation. I had the gumption titles, education, extreme intelligence in certain limited areas. I'm definitely not a jack of all trades. Like maybe 5 things I do really well, 2 like for sure. Third party verified and stuff like that. I'm an exceptionally brilliant man in certain areas. Not everybody gets a well birth, and I want you to have them black Swiss cheese hole exits and avoid the light at the moon. It's a very Buddhist lesson. Again, I'll say it one more time. Like, here, fishy, fishy, this looks easy. Come to the light. And then you've just recycled the black Swiss cheese holes you're going to have to, get out for. And then that's the beginning of, you'll have to get used to, being in that form once you get out of the black Swiss cheese holes. But that's the beginning of your return to being more godlike and less infantile. And then they've made me infantile too, like being able to voice to skull and remote neural monitor and control me from the EMF bandwidth. But like I was saying, those people are just selling out all of 3D reality to the 4th plane reptilian where their natural state is so that they could just control all of you. Sitting there in envy, watching you down in the 3D, like, wow, I wish I could get into that woman's head and her body and her vagina and then, make her die so I can eat her. And that's the reptilian stuff. So I'll get back into this some other time. But the black Swiss cheese holes, it's not comparable to maybe even trillions, like a magnitude up for that. Like, I'm trying to hand that out to everybody I can talk to, and that will, avoid the white light at the end of life and then get out them black Swiss cheese holes. It's much more important than anything attacking me in Redmond. Much more important than anything in my home. It's much more important than $200,000 spent on bloatware to try and kill me. And I've just begun publishing it. And I care about you enough to incarnate this one last time as an Arhut. Is what Buddhists say when they're not going to incarnate here anymore. So Billy came in to burp. When he talks, like, they'll, like, even when it's just Billy, like, hey, Billy. When they talk or, like, burp or cough, like, they'll, like layer in voice over that. Similar to maybe, like, Kevin Christian's experience in Atlanta when he was talking about hearing stuff around him, like, super saturate the area with, electromagnetic form, coward, parasite communication. And they can't hide their capital intent. They were trying to murder me, like, and stuff like that. And I've just begun publishing this information. So the mean understatement, very understatement, aliens that invaded and control the moon. All of the Satanists, Satanism isn't good. All of the anti-Christian, all of the gang stalkers, all of anybody that's in the military involved in Voice to Skull, all of that and then more would be lined up against me being able to distribute information about them black Swiss cheese holes. Like I said, maybe in an earlier video, there's like a woman from the worked with the Pleiades. She's like, so many years ago we would have been killed just even talking about this. It's extremely valuable information for every man, woman, and child. They made Jesus a false idol at the moon. They read your mind and shit. You see things that are pleasing, like your parents or whatnot. You get up into a way station and then they just recycle you down here. Really mean aliens. So I may be no Alex Jones, but the International Gay Frog Committee, like the real fourth dimensional reptilians, not the EMF gang stalkers and the EMF frequency, who they work for and are setting you up in the same plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. I may not be no Alex Jones, but the International Gay Frog Committee definitely has been in my fucking face and in my mess kit for a long time. I was made a TI because I had the will, the passion, the titles, and the will, birth, and education to actually do something about fixing higher education for Christian purposes, so you wouldn't all be made indentured servants. So it was cheaper to destroy my life, make me feel like I was crazy, mimicking schizophrenia, bipolar, psychosis, when it's all just the same plot to enslave every man, woman, child. Mind, body, and privately, and I've been talking about this, it intends to enslave past one life. So the Bardo moments of death are so small, like very little time, but you could get misled there. So they need to stop trying to design my suicide and kill me. But I don't have the luxury of a natural death with some of the stuff that I know. And I don't take any chances, and I'm not going to be prissy about it or anything like that. 6 sticks of dynamite, it'd be nice to have more, but at least 6 around my head. And I was thinking, see, sometimes it's not Billy. Like, I'm talking about my own suicide. Like, sometimes Billy probably wouldn't do something like that.
Who wouldn't like to see that, Tim?
He was a TI for 15 years. Like, showed up, like, he had a suicide attempt, like, not too long before he showed up because of V2K and gang stalking. The real Billy. So my plan, because I'm nano-infected and, like, I don't want to take any chances on getting misled at moments of death, is 6 at least. You could buy 6 a year legally, even if you hear voices. I can't buy a gun. It's part of the trap system for keeping you here, torturing you. But at least a few sticks of dynamite, and then I take off the whole top of the organ. If I could destroy the whole body like I would, huge amounts of electricity can get you really close to moments of instant death and things like that. But yeah, so a lot of sticks of dynamite alone. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. Probably over the Pacific. Maybe at night. Maybe in a different part of the location, depending on the star system, time of year, and stuff like that. But yeah, above a body of water. Just, I'm an Arhoot. And then Bush really was my Antichrist. He had the state powers. I had Q's. My birthday was 6506, one day before the sign of the beast on the Christian calendar. This thing right here was an EMF gang stalker, I think, that scratched my nose, but I had this scratch on my nose after a suicide attempt. Anyways, see, normal Billy may not laugh about talking about a suicide attempt. This may be actually EMF gang stalker Billy. Like, he looks like Billy, hard to distinguish, but there's these devices that you can get, EMF readers. You can get them on your phone. You can also get the scientific ones where you could put it up to somebody and be like, if it was, above normal bandwidth of 80, maybe 180 measurements, then you would know that it was an EMF gang stalker. And this perp in my head says in other places in the country, when that happens, they just put a fucking bullet in their head. Like, normal Billy does not, he deserves loving kindness and respect, and, like, normal Billy would not be doing things like perping me or, like, but they've taken his form, they've taken his his form in here, and then they have, like, secret electronic or whatever surveillance so that they're broadcasting it through, like, the like my thoughts through the local speaker system at the Safeway or whatever. And then like they're using this fake dialogue inside the house. Maybe it's going on cable. Like I can't watch television because of the Mockingbird media, but Billy's not ever really trying to fuck his own mom. But that's been some of the set design from EMF Billy trying to make real Billy look bad. Or, Billy's mom wasn't standing over there being like, I wish the real Tim Young gets butt fucked. And it's like to disrupt my chakra system and otherwise let EMF gang stalkers rape a guy that's trying to get you out of reincarnating here and other stuff. So, and this nigger over here is talking about how young girls know that he gets paid like $35 an hour to do this shit. So, publishing that
$5 an hour. Shit,
yeah,
that's 3.5 hours at Cinder Butte, dude. That's like a full day.
And that nigger thinks he's in charge, Bill. That nigger, and he's just an EMF gang stalker. That guy is like in and out of prison, some of the worst criminals in existence, and he's like a part of the group that would be, the Nazis telling the Jews dig hole for a mass grave. At any EMF gang stalker that's like integrating R&M, shit like that. They're setting the 3D world up for total control, domination, and torture in no good ways. Satanism for all of 3D humans. Again, Heavy T, you can Google his shit on YouTube. They'll keep his hits down artificially. Some of his more fearful expressions and what he was talking about was going him, and it's similar to what's going on with me. His is more severe. They body snatched his wife. The most fear expressed was his preview of, or what he thought was the future of the world. And in 2016, I've seen it since in the hive mind, the nanos that's been going on, same plot to enslave every man, woman, child. We have regressed since the Kennedys, but what I saw, and it could have been just, anyways, hive mind, groupthink, bunched up consciousness, hell on earth, literal. Was what I saw as potentially in the future in 2016, and I've seen it around, and more people than will get numbered because they try to hide the evidence. But the antithesis to all of that, my last time here is in Arhut, is the black Swiss cheese holes. Christians are actually never saved. There's no such thing as Christian heaven. They just get recycled through the moon. They're mean aliens. They're mean aliens, and I really do love you, and I can get rendered out of loving kindness out of me, and then they voice to scold me to make me say stuff that I normally never would. And my neighbor is an EMF bandwidth, not just in my head. They're hanging around here torturing me. Gangs of stalkers are no small operation. It's the international army for the Antichrist, literal. Devil to deceive, Satan to misjudge, and then frontmen for the international army for the Antichrist. Worldwide. So I'm not going to scapegoat Bush. He was set up for my Antichrist as a scapegoat in this. He had state powers. Those things were bigger than him. I really believe him and his dad are mammals full time, and that reptoids and other shapeshifters just impersonate him. And you want to avoid the white tunnel of light after death. And like that's my gift to you, which will have seemed like no value because that which is remote monitoring me is working like 1, 2, 10, 100 times, 1,000 times in the other direction. So yeah, and instead of you being nice or them stopping voice to skull or taking me off the list or stop remote neural monitoring or stop trying to design suicide or stop replacing Billy with somebody who's trying to ruin Billy, no, they do the opposite. Why? Because they invented Satanism and Satan, and it's so many systems. And they really never had God. So, and Christians are never saved. You just get recycled through the moon. Here, fishy, come here. It's the easy way to the light, yeah. And then that's really mean aliens. And then you're just memory wiped. So, there's other places to live. There's a lot of life out there. And, I do love you, but they can render loving kindness out of me, and we've regressed out of the, since the Kennedy men. It's the same plot to enslave every man, woman, and child, and the solution is an evac, is leaving. Okay, so it's the black Swiss cheese holes. avoid the white tunnel of light. Avoid what looks easy. And I really do love you. Came back. He's one last time. We all came through them black Swiss cheese holes at some point. One shape, form, or another, whatever. So, we can go back.